Should the Cowboys be on upset alert against Washington?
I think they should be. I think they should be. The fact that the Redskins lost the opening game at Philadelphia after blowing a 17-point lead, I think they're on their home turf at FedEx Field. It's early in the season. Ezekiel Elliott not as in full throttle as of yet. And I think that on that home turf in an NFC East game, I think it's ripe for the taking for the Dallas Cowboys. It's not that the Dallas Cowboys are not the better team. It's not that they shouldn't beat the Redskins. But the Redskins are going to win. They ain't going 0-16. There's a few games that they're going to win this year, primarily on their own home turf. The few games that they will win before Jay Gruden is unceremoniously removed as head coach of the franchise, because he won't last past this year. Okay? But the bottom line is that when you look at it from the Redskins brand standpoint, they've got some talent on their squad. And I think that being on their home turf against Dallas, who isn't fully in flow yet, I think this is a game that the Redskins could potentially steal.
I think I agree with you that Dallas isn't going full throttle yet, and Washington looked good in the first half of the game last week, and therefore it could be a tough game. But I find very little chance that Washington actually wins this game. First of all, the best case for them, Stephen A., is they're not going to go 0-16. They're not going to lose every game in the division. The NFL kind of works out where right away NFC East rivals, one is not 2-0 in the division, which the Cowboys would be, and one's not 0-2, which Washington would be in the division. It just doesn't usually work out that way. But Washington, the Cowboys in recent years have been a borderline powerhouse, and Washington's been a borderline pathetic franchise. And that's holding true this year. Yes, they put up a fight against Philadelphia, another powerhouse, a genuine powerhouse. They won a Super Bowl, went on another playoff run. But ultimately they lost. And when you look at what they've done recently, even against Dallas, they lose all the time to Dallas, at home, all the time. Ezekiel Elliott didn't really get his touches. And the reason he didn't was because Kellen Moore's offense. I mean, Dak Prescott was hitting everybody. They just have too many weapons. They have a young receiver with tremendous upside. Their number one receiver still with upside. Amari Cooper, don't forget, 2-3 years ago, it's like, is he going to be a top 5, a top 3 receiver, something like that? And then it looked like it was going the other way. And now it's, again, you have to ask the question, what tier is he in? Because we know it's an upper one, but how high is Amari Cooper? Ezekiel Elliott, wherever you go on the defense, DeMarcus Lawrence, their linebacking core is sick. I mean, there's just too much talent, and the only question with the Cowboys has been, can they get dynamic play calling enough on offense or have the courage of their convictions to go for it on 4th and 1 if they do, since they've drafted the running back so high and he's panned out. That's really the only question. They have guts on offense. Can they be a dynamic offense? The answer week 1 against a bad team in the Giants, divisional rival, was yes. Well, they're playing another bad divisional rival whose butts they always kick in recent years, and they're going to win this game.
Well, listen, I wouldn't disparage the Washington Redskins. This is their most fierce rival in the Dallas Cowboys, and it's their home opener. So you would expect this type of game to be close, be electric. But I think a couple things plays into the Dallas Cowboys' favor. Number one, Zeke he's going to start working. He's working himself back into football shape. So you would figure that his workload will increase by wearing down that Washington Redskins defensive front. Number two, the Washington Redskins still. Trent Williams, their star left tackle, still hasn't returned from his holdout, and that's going to leave them vulnerable up front for that Dallas Cowboys pass rush, and I expect them to wreak havoc on that Washington Redskins offensive line. Listen, for me, it's pretty simple. You got Dak Prescott, you got Zeke, Mari. You could go on and on with the stars that the Dallas Cowboys have, and they were humming against the Giants in Week 1. Are we really counting on Case Keenum to replicate the type of performance that he had against the Philadelphia Eagles, which he was outstanding against the Philadelphia Eagles last week? So, the Dallas Cowboys, to me, are the more talented team. The team, to me, that I feel like they have more stars, more playmaking ability on both sides of the football, and I think they'll get the win against Washington in Week 2.
You'll probably get the win, but I'm still going to go with a potential upset with the Redskins. I just believe there's a chance. This kid McLaurin had a 68-yard touchdown against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm thinking about on the defensive side of the ball, the Josh Normans, the Dunbars of the world, and others don't have a speedster like Deshaun Jackson to worry about. Amari Cooper is no joke. Obviously, Gallup is impressive, but they can definitely run, no question. But they're for the most part, they're bigger receivers, and I don't think that the deep threat, that the home run punch that the Eagles gave to them, I don't think that's what's going to happen to the Redskins on a day like today. I think you methodically beat them down, and I think this earlier in the season, they'll be better prepared for that kind of encounter rather than they would be later on in the season as the season progresses. I'm just giving them a chance.
When you look at the Dallas Cowboys receiving core, it sounds funny to say because not that many months ago, it's what do they really have? Then the Cooper trade, then the Amari Cooper trade, then they bring in a good veteran player, maybe an upgrade over what they had. They draft a guy with high upside and with speed. I mean, they have a chance to be an elite receiving core, and they bring back their old tight. Jason Witten can somehow never get separation, but is also somehow always open. They have a chance to do that. It really comes down to how aggressive are they willing to be with the play calling and how dynamic. But guys, even if they aren't against a team like Washington, just hand the ball to Zeke. He got that first game under his belt. He's going to run over these guys if they just hand him the ball. And that could be plan B or C for them. I don't see how Washington wins this game.
Yeah, listen, the one thing that the Washington Redskins don't do well on defense, they don't rush the passer well. Their interior defensive lineman, Jonathan Allen, got hurt. He's doubtful for the game. He might not play. So you're already talking a team that doesn't rush the passer well, that might be without their best front seven player going up against arguably the best offensive line in football in the Dallas Cowboys with Zeke Elliott in the backfield. To me, that's a recipe for disaster in this type of game.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.